The cemetery was quiet the way winter mornings always are, cold, still, and heavy with the kind of silence that presses against your chest. Snow dusted the marble angels and the iron gates. A single man stood by the white headstone, dressed in a dark coat that looked too expensive for a place like this, yet somehow too small for his grief. Alexander Reed, billionaire industrialist, man of ruthless deals and unreadable headlines, was crying. Not the silent, dignified tears people imagine the wealthy allow themselves. These were raw, broken, shaking his shoulders. His gloved hands trembled as they rested on the headstone. Emily Grace Reed, 1999-2023. Beloved daughter, gone too soon. A bouquet of white lilies lay at the base. The stems trembled in his grip like something alive. I'm sorry, he whispered, voice cracked from all the apologies he'd never said. I should have listened. I should have been there. The wind carried his words across the snow, and up the hill where a woman stood hidden behind a cluster of bare trees. Emily watched her father cry. She'd imagined seeing him again many times. In her dreams he was usually angry, demanding, disappointed, cold. The way he had always been when she was alive. But this man kneeling in the snow wasn't that father. He looked older, smaller, fragile, and it hurt more than she expected. Her fingers tightened around the edge of the scarf that hid the lower half of her face. The scar on her jaw, the one she'd gotten the night everything changed, throbbed like it remembered too. She had been declared dead in that accident. The fiery crash, the overturned car, the missing body. The doctors and investigators had written the story for her. Her father had believed it, or perhaps needed to. But Emily wasn't dead. She had escaped the life that was killing her long before the fire ever could. Her lips trembled. She could almost hear it all again. You're wasting your life, Emily. You are a Reed. You don't get to choose. You will take over the company, whether you like it or not. Endless boardrooms. Endless pressure. A world where everything was measured, profit margins, reputation, perfection. No room for art. No room for mistakes. No room for her. She had wanted music, painting, air in her lungs. Instead, she'd gotten rules. And then came the night of the storm. The driver swerved. The guardrail snapped. Metal twisted. When she crawled out bleeding and shaking, the car caught fire. And she ran, not from the wreckage, but from the cage. A stranger helped her. A nurse with tired eyes who patched her up, protected her, and knew better than to ask too many questions. Emily had taken a new name. Found a tiny apartment. Worked in a cafe. Lived small. Lived free. She saw newspapers claim she was gone. Her father hadn't even searched personally. That, she thought then, was answer enough. Until now. Back at the grave, Alexander's voice trembled. I thought making you strong meant making you like me, he whispered. But all I did was push you away. He pressed his forehead against the cold stone. I built everything for you. Every company. Every deal. I thought money could protect you. Fix things. Replace, love. A bitter laugh cracked out of him. Turns out even billions can't buy back a heartbeat. Emily swallowed hard, blinking away tears. The wind tugged strands of hair from beneath her hat. She remembered the last conversation they'd had, the one that had carved itself into her. You don't get to wreck the legacy because you want to play guitar, he'd snapped. Grow up, she had screamed back, called him selfish, controlling, told him she hated him. That was the last time he'd heard her voice. Down by the grave, Alexander took out a folded letter. The paper shook. I write to you every week, he murmured. As if you might read it somewhere. As if I still deserve to talk to you. He placed it under the lilies. I don't know where I went wrong. But if there's any world where you can hear me, I'm proud of you, Emily. For being stubborn. For fighting. I just wish I'd fought for you instead of for the company. The words struck like a stone to Emily's heart. He had never said those things when she was alive. He had never even hinted. The ground seemed to blur through her tears. A battle raged inside her, the life she had carved with shaking hands, and the life she had fled, now changed by grief. She stepped back, ready to disappear again. Then she slipped on the snow. Her boot scraped hard against a rock, the noise sharp in the silence. Alexander's head snapped up. His gaze locked on her figure between the trees, the long coat, the trembling stance, the eyes that looked exactly like his. For a moment both of them were statues. Then he whispered, hoarse. Emily. Fear shot through her. Every instinct screamed run. She turned. Please. His voice cracked like glass. Don't go. The plea froze her in place. Slowly, painfully, she turned back. They met halfway, not at the grave, not in the shadows, but somewhere uncertain, somewhere new. Up close, his eyes searched her face like a starving man searching a horizon. He reached out, then stopped, afraid to break the illusion. Are you? His voice broke. Are you real? Emily lowered her scarf. The scar glinted. Her lips trembled. I'm real. The sound of her voice shattered him. He staggered forward, sobbing, and she let him pull her into his arms. For a long moment, there were no apologies, no explanations, just the fragile miracle of existing in the same breath of air again. When they finally parted, his hands still hovered as if afraid she'd vanish. Why? He whispered. So many answers lived in that question. She chose the truest. I couldn't breathe in your world. He closed his eyes. I know, he said softly. And I'm the one who built the walls. The wind carried their silence over the snow. Emily looked back at the headstone. It feels like she really died, she murmured. The girl who tried to be perfect. He followed her gaze. Then let her rest, he said quietly. And let me meet the woman who survived. Her throat tightened. What if I don't want the company? Or the money? What if all I want is coffee shifts, cheap paint, a tiny apartment that leaks when it rains? He gave a small, broken smile. Then you have my blessing to live exactly that life. And my promise not to chase you anymore. Tears spilled again, but they were warm this time. She nodded. I'm not ready to come back, she admitted. Not yet. Maybe not ever. I understand, he said. He meant it. But, can I call you? Sometimes. Just to know you're breathing. She considered. Then, gently, she placed her phone number into his shaking hand. They hugged once more, not desperate this time, but careful. When she walked away, the world didn't feel like a battlefield. It felt like a beginning. At the grave, Alexander stood quietly. He brushed the snow from the headstone, leaving the lilies and the letter. Goodbye, Emily, he whispered to the name carved in stone. Then, smiling through tears, he added, Hello, Emily. And for the first time in years, both father and daughter left the cemetery alive.